Hello, welcome to the Hat on Head News Cabin. I'm going to talk to you guys about UBI today. I believe in it. I think it's a program that makes sense, that will help lift us out of poverty as a country, that's fair, that's democratic. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the misconceptions. I'm going to compare it to other government programs and tell you a little bit about the work I did for the Yang Gang. So Andrew Yang is the first. That was the first place that I had heard of UBI. So the end of 2018. Then I went to go see him at the Boston Common in April of 2019, and just really became involved with the Yang Gang. Ended up going up to Canvas in New Hampshire, right at the up leading up to the primary in New Hampshire to get the word out there. And the main thing that I liked about the Andrew Yang campaign is UBI, because I believe in it as a program so much. If you compare it to other ways that the government tries to help people, right? So you have welfare, you have unemployment, you have disability, and all of these programs, they create the wrong incentives, right? And these wrong incentives basically make it so that people stay down, right? It's the government needing you to be needy for the government to help you. And UBI is saying everyone needs help. So that's just the main difference as a program, and the real problem in terms of the perception of the program and for people to buy in is that the left doesn't like it for a certain reason, that richer people are gonna get $1,000 a month. And to me, it's really the main reason why everyone should get it. Well, there's many reasons, but it makes us all feel like we're in this together. This is a positive aspect. We're all getting the same amount. The second part is that deciding who gets it and who doesn't get it will be more costly than just giving it to everyone. And then the third part is that even people who have money, often they're not big spenders in terms of going. So it's just the amount of money that will be going into the system, into the services, will have such a multiplier effect that it's just positive to give this money to everyone. So that's what UBI is. It's the Great Equalizer. It's this big marketing project called America, where there's so much money in the system that's going to defense, that's going to all these different places that the Democrats and the Republicans have their own things that they are able to bring to their constituents and saying, I did this for you. And over a period of so long, we've had different people coming up with programs and ways of getting the government's money and then saying, I helped these people out, when the truth is that the thing that helps them is the money. That's what's helping them. So within the welfare program, within unemployment, within welfare, the part that's helping them is not all of the stuff that they're writing about we're doing this and guiding them this way. It's the money. No one's like, oh, I'm gonna work so hard so I can have pay less shoes. No, people work hard for the fancy shit, for the stuff that costs money, and people are still gonna work hard to strive to get ahead, to have a better lifestyle, to do things that they like. And something along the lines of $1,000 a month is certainly not going to make Americans not work hard. And then if you look at just the government programs that are in place that are always touted as the solutions, it's not like people, let's say on more the liberal left, they want to help people. They absolutely do. But their solutions are, welfare, which if we look at the families who have been receiving welfare over the past 50, 60 years, these families in general, you haven't helped these families. And that's something that really needs to be looked at, is what are the programs that are effective? Another big thing is jobs retraining program. Obviously, an area where you could look at, we're trying to help people to help themselves and help people to get into the job market to be able to sustain themselves and their family. But these programs have been largely ineffective, and the thing is that there are so many different ways that people can train themselves in their own industry. There's there's these little barriers to entry that will be alleviated with UBI, with something like $1,000 a month. I think that it should be lower, that we should first prove to the American people how effective UBI will be. Let's get in there at $600 a month. Now obviously with what's going on with the coronavirus, the 32% unemployment rate of last week, all of these things are making us clamor for a solution. But UBI is really the long-term solution. It's the way to support everyone, to give everyone a baseline amount of income that they can build off of. Certainly the ways that people look at it negatively mainly focus on, oh, it's a fantasy land, or, there's so many different ways that basically, because it hasn't been done yet, it hasn't really been implemented in a large scale way. I mean, we look at Alaska, sure, and it has, it's been positive there, but one of the bigger aspects in terms of how to present it to people is it's a social program for everyone that both conservatives and liberals can see merit in. But at this point, people aren't quite there in understanding how effective this program would be. And I really look at the objections, the ones about, you can't just give people free money. It's like, that's what we're doing with businesses all the time. That's what, like, people get free stuff all the time. It's not like, it's just this aversion to someone who is desperate. That's what it is. And it's kind of, that I look at that as a negative kind of thing that people think about UBI is it's like, if you're trying to get money from an investor, you can't look desperate because they'll never invest in you. So it's the same kind of mental process that people have to get over, that everyone needs help, everyone, and so that's really UBI. If you look at the wealth of this country and the fact that all of these different people constantly over the past, I'm looking big picture, let's say from the 60s to 2020, so 60-year period of so many different types of people, college educated people, explaining how they're going to help this group of people, that group of people, this group of people, and they couldn't just figure it out that maybe everyone needs some $20 bills. Maybe that would fucking be to solve the problem. And it's, I say it that way, and that probably puts people off. I really don't care. You're gonna watch Hat on Head if you like what I have to say, and the way that I express it. And this video is obviously not so much about the data, which I definitely want to bring into the picture, and I'm going to do more videos, explaining why UBI will make sense from a data-driven. I just really like what Andrew Yang brings to the table, the way that he expresses ideas, how empathetic that he is, his motto of not left, not right, but forward. Like, he really connects with me in his book, which I highly recommend, The War on Normal People. Really explains what the United States is going through on so many different levels. And, the incentive within UBI is just that you're an American and an adult, and we imagine that things cost money because we all live here and costs are really high. And the other big thing about UBI is it gives people the ability to make the changes in their life, to train themselves. There's so many little pieces that you have to do to get in front of that opportunity and to be able to kick in the door and go for it. Whether that be a job of any kind, it could be, these little amounts of money are where Americans take advantage of each other. And that's another point that I'd like to bring up about UBI is it's a way for people to have, an amount of money for them to not be taken advantage of, and that's certainly something that is positive. It's just, for me, the big hurdles are people's perceptions of their neighbors getting money. People understand that just giving everyone money in an equitable way does make sense conceptually, but then they do have trouble with certain people around them getting the money, and I just think that comes down to human nature, I suppose. But UBI really is the fairest way to give everyone an ability to compete in the United States. And I think it's more important if I compare the way that the United States is to, for example, how Germany is, where I lived for a couple years, because there's so much more structure over there. Their school system is moving people to their right path at 11 years old, and then people are really more guided and kind of funnel themselves with less effort. There's less like Herculean, like I feel like in the United States, no matter who it is, they can tell you a harrowing story of how they got the job to be the assistant manager at public space storage. You know what I mean? It's just like there's so much friction in us getting to our kind of adult career, you know. And so because of all this friction, UBI would help us kind of alleviate the pain points, you know, in getting there. So that's, you know, if you look at how money in our lives is given out, you know, there's this period in the United States because now everyone is going to college and there's these loans that are associated with college that are guaranteed, and it's the reason why many people go to college. There's probably about, you know, and you can't, because no one will be like, oh yeah, I went to college so that I could access those free loans. No, they're going to tell you that they went to college because they wanted to have an experience that would be life changing, and they would find their path and their true career, whatever it is. I mean, there's plenty of great reasons to go to college, but it is absolutely true that one of the reasons why people go there is to access free money, you know. And that's the other aspect is like, of the misconception about UBI is they'll say, oh, you can't just give people free money. It's like, yeah, you can. People do it all the time. Businesses receive free money all the time. People, just the amount of free money that people are getting, you know, but it's just not in this equitable way, you know. I mean, the welfare to big businesses is, you know, as we've seen, is amazing. Even this stimulus package, you know, hopefully they get it right, and I'm not even gonna criticize, even though it looks to me right now, March 31st, 2020, actually I decided I do want to criticize. They're not getting granular enough about how they're going to deliver this money to the people. So right now I'm not hopeful. But I am happy that Andrew Yang's work and some of the work that myself and others did in the Yang campaign. I went up to New Hampshire 6 days, knocked on a lot of doors. It was an amazing learning experience, and I'm really proud of the work, you know, that was done by the Andrew Yang team. I'm happy to see what he's doing now, and that the principles of UBI are being looked at, because within this free market economy, within this capitalism run amok that is the United States in 2020, with then compounded with this unprecedented pandemic, which has caused businesses to shut down, this really does highlight the need for UBI. And I don't think that this is a temporary need. This is a long-term need. Now, you know, obviously they're just looking at kind of the principles for the short-term need. But what this video is about, and I'm going to talk about it more, is that UBI is the fairest, best, most effective way to help people. It helps people to not have to put themselves down, to not have to fit themselves into different categories of need, to just say, I'm an American, you know, and that's all it is. And so I truly believe in this, and I hope that both the left and the right can come together and understand that UBI is a way forward. So, you know, as Andrew Yang says, not left, not right, but forward. And that slogan really is pretty great, and it applies to UBI. There's reasons why both sides can see that it's effective, and there's also hurdles in their judgment to figure out why it is the solution. All right, well, thanks for joining me and listening to me ramble on about UBI for 15 minutes here, or whatever, however long it is. I do encourage you to check out the links that I've put in below that provide some data to my analysis about UBI and why we need to adopt it as a country to be better. So, all right, thanks for joining me. Keep your hat on your head.